because happiness does not ultimately derive from this world. This world is not designed to make you happy, it is designed to challenge you. And if you believe that this world is designed to make you happy, then you're going to get very angry, because as the years pass in your life, you realize, why isn't my life working? Why is this reality seems to be always throwing obstacles in my path? The moment I say, oh, it's okay now, this problem has been solved, another one pops up from behind you. And so you have these areas of your life, the main areas being your physical health, your financial situation, your living situation, your professional situation, your relationship situation. And one of these areas usually develops problems. So you solve a problem in your financial area, and then pops up a relationship problem. You solve the relationship problem, suddenly you have a health problem. It's interesting that you're constantly being challenged, and you might have noticed one of the greatest sources of challenges are human beings. Because humans are incredibly challenging. And although humans look to humans often for some ultimate fulfillment through other humans, more often what they find through other humans is that other humans turn out to be a source of suffering. And that is because you're stuck in the egoic mind, and the egoic mind has certain expectations of the world, which includes whatever you experience in this world, has certain expectations that the world cannot meet. But if you believe that the world should, then that is a delusional reality that you will be continuously unhappy. The world continues to challenge you, but you believe the world is here to make you happy. That's a terrible dilemma. So it means all your expectations are delusory, but you don't know it, and that creates an enormous amount of suffering, because then every challenge that you encounter in this world, and they come one after another, every challenge that you encounter in this world, you then, because of that underlying expectation that something is wrong when you're being challenged, every challenge is then turned into unhappiness. There's a big difference between a challenge and unhappiness. So when you have delusory expectations of the world, then the world will make you unhappy and not happy, but you continue to believe that something has gone fundamentally wrong in your life, because life does not leave you alone. And you want some peace, you want you want the sense of, I've arrived, this is it. And occasionally it comes, but it never lasts for very long. So that's the dilemma. The underlying state of ignorance, not knowing that the function of this world is to challenge you, because only by challenging you does it provide the necessary incentive to awaken you. And it is that you notice after a while that as you gradually begin to awaken out of the unconsciousness, which is the complete identification with the conceptual egoic mind, you begin to realize that, a lot of the unhappiness that you experience, and unhappiness is a generic term that could be many, many things. Even a state of irritation is already unhappiness. Sadness is unhappiness. Anger is unhappiness. Any state that doesn't feel good is unhappiness. Any state of unhappiness, you begin to realize that the greater part of it is not derived from the situations in your life. And when you realize that, that's the beginning of an awakening. Let's say 90% of the unhappiness that you encounter is actually produced by your mind. And that's an amazing realization. There remain the 10% unhappiness. You might be somebody, a loved one dies close to you. Of course, you experience, you weep. That is, of course, normal. But if you observe the various forms of unhappiness in your life, from the mildest forms of unhappiness to the more extreme forms of unhappiness, let's say, just two brief examples, a mild, very, very small, a little bit of unhappiness arises many times when things happen in daily life and you can't immediately get what you want. You're on the phone trying to talk to your bank, but of course there's no human being there. And even that it's a minor form of unhappiness, but it is, you get very irritated and you think, well, this is caused by this dreadful bank that it has no longer human beings that you can speak to. Or you're lining up. Airports are a great place to observe small forms of unhappiness, because often so many things go wrong, and you're lining up, and this lineup is not moving, and of course these people are just so inefficient. I'm never going to fly with them again, and it's all right. And you feel more and more. And in any of these situations, if you observe, okay, unhappiness is arising. Is it really coming from the situation, or is it coming from the way in which I speak to myself about the situation? Does it derive from the mental commentary about the situation, or is it the situation? And in most cases, you actually find, and I suggest you start with small forms of unhappiness. You will find that the unhappiness is derived from the narrative, is derived from your self-talk in the head. And because the self-talk just happens to you, you're not doing it, it's like the heartbeat. It happens, the thinking, the reactive thinking happens to you. And you mistake it for who you are, and then you become an unhappy human being.